In Squid Game, 45 players spilled blood. Some did it to win. Others did it because the alternative was death. But whether it came from desperation, vengeance, or cold calculation, every kill told a story, and we're counting them all. From the quietest act of survival to the loudest death on the glass bridge, these are the players who killed, and the blood they left behind. It begins with someone nobody can expected, Lee Mongi. In real life, he was a scammer.
Promoted Dalmatian, a new cryptocurrency, leading his subscribers to lose a combined 15.2 billion won.
A crypto YouTuber who released a fake coin, crashed its price, and ghosted everyone, including his pregnant ex, when investors lost more than 15 billion won. But in the game, he couldn't ghost his past. Thanos, the one he scammed the worst, caught him alone in the bathroom. The fight went quickly out of control. Thanos threw punches and claimed Mongi's life was his now.
Money! Girl! Life! Talk Thanos property now!
But Mongi fought back. He grabbed a fork from the lunch tray and rammed it into Thanos' throat. One stab, one unexpected kill. And a player who'd barely survived to that point found himself a killer. Player 131 didn't set out to kill anyone. He wasn't a fighter. He didn't even speak. But in the special game, when anarchy reigned in the dorms, he witnessed another player, 329, choking a girl. Something inside him broke. He took a glass bottle, shattered it over 329's head, and kicked him onto the ground. He didn't think, he just reacted. Was it heroic? Was it mere survival? Whatever. An unseen background player had just made a move that resonated throughout the room. Not every player screamed in their kills. Player 211 didn't utter a word. When player 074 sprinted to the dorm doors screaming for the guards to rescue her, 211 simply stood by. And when the riot reached its height, he approached her from behind with a metal beam. One strike, then another, then another. She fell. He walked away. No warning, no hesitation. As though her life had never mattered to him. At the same time, another player, 224, acted in the same riot, but with a chilling, logical twist. Player 328 had ascended to the top bunk to get away from violence and was screaming for assistance. 224 crept quietly after with a bedsheet. He wrapped it around the neck of 328, tugged until he heard a snap, and then kicked the body off the top bunk as if it were an object. He disappeared into the crowd once more, leaving behind only a broken neck and a chilling warning. Even silence was deadly. Not all the killings were violent in the classical sense. The marble game required players to compete directly against their best friends, and there was only one who could depart. We witnessed 12 of these heartbreaking contests. Player 43 defeated 413. Player 21 defeated 276. Player 62 defeated 130th. Player 69 defeated 70th. Player 96 defeated 229th. Player 151 defeated 68. Player 308 defeated 158. Player 322 defeated 28th. Player 360 defeated 115th. Player 453 defeated 85. Player 17 defeated 81, and worst of all, Player 67, Kang Sebyok, defeated Player 240, Ji Yong, who gave her the victory by throwing her last marble away with a grin and a gentle goodbye. No stabs, no anger, only the oppressive burden of survival. Now, these were the players we saw take the win.
Thank you for playing with me.
Some of the games were off-screen, and their results were presumed, but all the names mentioned were supported by what we witnessed with our own eyes. And then there were the tougher ones. Player 407 did not begin the night looking lethal, but on the glass bridge, something snapped. When player 244 froze, praying, 407 instructed player 151 to shove him, or vice versa.
Try to make that guy move to the next one. If you don't, then I might have to push you into him, okay?
The tension released, and seconds later, 407 did it himself. He shoved 244 clean off the bridge, his yell echoing through the night. He wanted everyone to see that, and they did. And then there was Han Minyo. She wasn't anyone's favorite. Boisterous, manipulative, volatile. Even Deoksu, the bully she assisted into survival, referred to her as crazy and replaced her on his team. She switched allegiances, avoided expulsion when no one picked her for marbles, and amassed a lifetime of resentment in a matter of days. But when she finally got her turn, she didn't waste it. On the glass bridge, Deoksu stood his ground and refused to go on, cutting off their path. Minyo came up behind him, smiled, and hugged his waist.
Remember? We said we'd stick together right to the end.
And then pulled them both off the bridge. One kill, one sacrifice, one last reminder. You don't leave Minyo behind. Next killer was absolute chaos. Player 124, Namgyu. And after seeing Thanos perish in the bathroom, something just broke. He got the same fork that used to kill his friend and went on a rampage. He stabbed player 331 through the chest, then snuck into bed with player 185 and killed her while she slept. His final victim was Sammy, the very same girl he harassed throughout the game. She attacked back with shattered glass, but Namgyu didn't let up. He stabbed her repeatedly until the floor was drenched red. 1 fork, 3 dead. And a man who lost not only his friend, but lost what little humanity he had. But the most ruthless killer of all? That would be Cho Sang-woo, the best mind in the game. Every step thought out, every friend expendable. When the game of marbles was on, he didn't blink. He chose Ali, a man who trusted him completely, as his partner. They worked together, or so Ali thought, but Sang-woo was never working with him. He swapped Ali's marbles with a bag of rocks. Ali realized too late. The guards didn't. Seconds later, the gunshot rang out. One betrayal, one friend gone, and Sang-woo left without looking back. During the glass stepping stones, Do Young-soo, a former glassmaker, thought he'd found a way to survive. He began analyzing the panels, calculating the refraction, trying to identify the tempered from the ordinary glass. But he was taking too long, too precise, too slow. Behind him, Sang-woo watched, eyes cold and unblinking. Then, without a word, he stepped forward and shoved Do Young-soo off the bridge.
Just try one.
No warning, no hesitation, just one less problem. A quick solution in a deadly game. That wasn't the first time Sang-woo proved his intelligence was sharper than his conscience. On the final night before Squid Game's last round, Sae-byeok lay bleeding after the explosion from the glass bridge. Barely conscious, she couldn't even stand. But Sang-woo didn't see a person. He saw an obstacle. He walked over and silently slid a knife into her neck. 3 murders, each colder than the last, each one calculated, and each one justified in his own twisted logic. In Sang-woo's mind, he wasn't a killer, just the smartest man in the room doing what he had to in order to win. But even the coldest killer can be outdone by chaos itself. Enter player 230, nicknamed Thanos by the others. He wasn't clever, strategic, or restrained. He was high, unstable, and terrifying from the first game. During red light, green light, he popped a pill before the round began and lost all sense of reason. As soon as the doll turned away, he shoved players 216, 257, and 270 forward, directly into the kill zone. Gunfire rang out, and Thanos just smiled and whispered, "Tag." It didn't end there. During Mingle, he kicked player 256, Jong-soo, out of the room. Kyung-gu didn't even realize what had happened until it was over, asking,
Where'd you leave Kyung-soo? Where the hell is he?
"Where'd you leave Kyung-gu? Where the hell is he?" 4 lives gone. And when karma came, it came fast. Lai Mongi drove a fork into Thanos' throat in the bathroom. Even as he bled out, angry and desperate, he still tried to kill. But rage only gets you so far. Then came a killer who didn't need drugs or panic, only power. Jang Deok-soo wasn't just a gangster outside the game. He brought that same brutality into Squid Game. Long before the game started, he stabbed a fellow gang member repeatedly in the chest for betrayal. Inside the compound, he ruled the dorm like a king. He beat player 271 to death with his fists, stabbed player 198 with a shattered bottle, and slashed player 331 again and again with a blade. On the glass bridge, he got into an argument with young Min Tai and solved it the only way he knew how, by shoving him off. 5 confirmed kills, all done without regret. For Deok-soo, it wasn't about winning, it was about domination. But when it was finally his turn to make a choice on the glass bridge, he froze. The woman he'd used and discarded, Han Min-yo, wrapped her arms around him and whispered through a smile as she dragged them both into oblivion. All his power, all his fear, it ended in one shared fall. But the next killer didn't compete at all. He ran the game. Hwang In-ho, the frontman, wasn't one of the masked enforcers. He was their commander, a former detective turned executioner. In Season 1, he shot a guard in the head for being unmasked. He killed the handler of an organ harvesting ring, not because of the crime, but because the scheme disrupted what he believed was sacred: equality.
You ruined the most important aspect of this place, equality.
Sir, I'm sorry.
Fairness. That was his twisted sense of justice. But in Season 2, In-ho took it further. Undercover as Oh Young, player 0001, he stepped into the game floor himself. When players were told only 2 per room during Mingle, Simja made it in fair and square. But In-ho didn't care. He needed the room for himself and Jung-bai. So, with 2 seconds on the clock, he dragged Yasak into a corner and snapped his neck without hesitation. Later, he shot Kwon Bong-soo, a fellow rebel, and used player 015 in a fake radio stunt before executing him too. Even Park Jung-bae, Gi-hun's closest ally, was taken out with a single shot. 6 murders, everyone clean and intentional. In-ho didn't kill to win, he killed to maintain control, to preserve the illusion of fairness in a twisted world he helped create. And then there were the pink guards, the silent, masked enforcers. Not quite players, not masterminds, but crucial killers in their own right.
This is all we get?
They didn't just follow orders, they ensured bloodshed at every step. Over 250 players were gunned down in red light, green light. In Honeycomb, 79 players were executed on the spot. Tug of war, marbles, glass bridge, lose the game, and they ended it quickly. But it wasn't just the shooting. The guards locked doors before riots, cut lights, starved the dorms, pushed the players toward violence. They made sure no one walked away from chaos. Their estimated kill count? Over 400, and that's just what we saw. No names, no faces, just red suits, silence, and the power to erase you in a moment. But behind it all, the final killer, the one whose hands never touched a blade, was Oh Il-nam, player 0001, the host, the architect, the original mastermind. Long before any player stepped onto the game floor, Il-nam had already crafted the rules. From 1988 to 2024, he ran the Squid Game annually. His twisted belief? That true fairness could only exist when people were stripped of everything, when life and death were the only stakes. He believed desperation made people honest, and that belief cost lives. 455 players per year for 32 years. That's 14,560 deaths before the events of Season 1. Then he joined the game himself, playing alongside the others, pretending to be weak and helpless. But he knew what was coming. He watched 255 players get gunned down in red light, green light. He smiled as guards executed the helpless. Every rule, every death, every drop of blood, it was his doing. He didn't need a gun. His power alone killed more than any other. An estimated 15,000 dead, all from one man's idea of fun. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon for more interesting videos like this.